I want to thank the sponsors of this video, EXOTAC, LT Wright Knives, and AquaQuest Tarps. They were kind enough to supply us with some of this gear that Craig's about to see, and it's going to help stay in the woods a lot easier and make it a lot more fun. So thanks a lot to those three companies for sponsoring this video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in and watching today's video. Got something a little different for you than what I normally put out on my channel. I'm here with my buddy Craig.
Hey, everybody.
CLPBushcraft, and we're going to be doing a challenge. We've been teasing this back and forth on our social media for a little over a week now, and we're finally out here and we're going to get started. There's a few things I'll go over before we get into what's inside this box. I know Craig's kind of dying to figure out what's going on.
I'm anxious.
Part of the kicker is Craig doesn't know what I brought in this box for us to stay the night in the woods. We'll get to that later, but I want to go over a few things before we crack open this. So right here in front of me is stuff that's not going to be included in this 24-hour overnight challenge. It kind of looks like a lot, but it does take quite a lot to film this and have everything that you need to be able to document all of it. So in this black bag here is nothing but film equipment, batteries, stuff to charge cameras, phones, because we are going to be doing some stuff on our phones as well. We're going to try to do some stuff on Instagram and whatnot. Obviously some film gear here, the camera that is behind you, the camera bag. In this bag is lens cleaning cloth, extra SD cards, extra batteries. So that's all film stuff. I'm just trying to be transparent with you here. And then in this bag is, heaven forbid, if we need it, first aid. So here's for bumps, cuts, bruises, that kind of stuff. And then behind it is more serious, major bleeding, hemorrhages, and a tourniquet. So I don't feel comfortable even going out by myself doing this kind of stuff without any kind of first aid at all. We're not super far out in the middle of the wilderness, but you never know. So hopefully this stuff will not even be opened or used, but it's here just in case, and it will not be used in any part of this challenge. And then last but not least is minor toiletry stuff. So basically it's a big pack of dude wipes in case nature calls, some medication, and toothbrush, toothpaste, really for in the morning, kind of when stuff's wrapping up. But that's really all this is. So this is also nothing that's going to aid us in this challenge. Just wanted to put that out there for you right off the bat so that you can kind of see. All right, so what we have going, the kind of the setup for this video is Craig and I have been talking back and forth, and although we've got a trip coming up here soon that we're going to be spending time together, we've just been aching to get out in the woods and chatting back and forth, and a few other, instructors and other people on social media that we follow whenever have done some stuff similar. This whole thing of like doing an overnight with minimal gear and going out with next to nothing, and a lot of us have gone out with like lightweight kits and just kind of bare essential stuff, and then I myself have done a few challenges in the past. Some of them I've recorded, other ones I just did with friends. And talking with Craig, he has
never done it.
Yeah, he's never done anything like that. So I was like, man, I've got a weekend free here coming up. Let's get together and let's do something. So besides this box, we've got our clothing that's on us. In our pockets, I have my phone and my keys that don't have anything on my keys.
I just got my phone.
Yeah, and my phone. And then other than that, we've got no knife, no pocket knife, no lighter, no cordage. Our belts, Craig even went as far as to take everything out of his Wazoo cash belt.
Look, I got to show everybody. There's nothing in the cash belt. I took everything out.
I just have a plain rigger's belt on. And then even in my Wazoo cap.
Yeah, same here.
There's nothing in there.
Nothing in the cash cap.
So the temperatures have kind of been crazy here in Texas. So we really didn't know what to expect. And of course, a couple of days before we were wanting to do this, it warms up and, whatever. But we do have 2 extra pieces of clothing. We both have a shamag and we both have a zip up hoodie. I doubt we'll be using this hoodie. you know, whatever. There's 2 kickers to this. One of them Craig is somewhat familiar with. The other one, I just sprung it on him right before we got out here. So the first one is, there are 10 items in this box that I chose for both of us to use to stay the night. We're doing 24 hours. So we started this at like 1 o'clock. So we'll stay here till tomorrow afternoon. And he doesn't know the 10 items that I picked for him or for us.
No.
The other little thing that I threw out, man, this bee's trying to get my face right now. The other kicker that I threw out was, once we go through this and Craig sees what we have, it's going to be up to him to decide the course of action. Like, what do we do first? What's important? What should we do? So with that said, let me set the camera up a little bit better so you can see what we got going on. And we're going to open this up and kind of see what Craig is thinking here. All right, so before Craig gets started on this, I did want to share a couple little disclaimers with you. First off, with everything that's going on and all the craziness and stuff, even just it being really bad allergies and whatnot, there are going to be doubles of stuff in here. So we're not like sharing germs as far as like a container. And then like our sleeping stuff, we're not going to just be, you know, sharing the same kind of sleeping area and spooning and all that stuff. Right. So you will notice that there's going to be doubles of stuff. But if you were to just say, hey, Craig's coming out here by himself, he would just be needing one of each thing. So it would still just be the 10 items. Mm-hmm. And then on the top here is a little bit of a fail-safe. So there's 4 protein bars in here. My plan and my goal is to not touch these through the whole video, but they're here in case we get completely skunked on food and whatnot between now and 24 hours. With that said too, if anything gets bad as far as kind of like first aid or emergency, there's a few liquid IV packs in here too. If one of us starts cramping or, you know, just kind of crashes, because that can happen really quick. The one thing we for sure will be taking out of this bag is this coffee. There's some Kuju coffee in here that you know, we're going to be transparent. Like, we're going to film everything and show you what we're doing, but the protein bars and the liquid IV are kind of just like, you know, hey, if something happens, we're not coming out here completely without it. 24 hours isn't bad, but I mean, it does suck to not eat anything for 24 hours. So with that said, Craig's about to open this up and go over it, and then you can kind of see his thoughts and reactions too as to what he's seeing for the first time.
All right, here we go. So let me see what is in here. I've been dying for weeks to know what we got. All right, so first off, I see wool blanket. So for warmth in the night. And we've got some drum liners. So we could use for debris mattresses with these to get us up off the ground. And then with the wool blanket, that ought to be pretty decent night's sleep, hopefully, maybe. All right, then like Jonathan was saying, we got 2 cups, 2 titanium cups for drinking. This is great. We got the Grail water filter, the GeoPress, because here there's a creek running back behind us, and then a creek running over this way, so we'll definitely be able to use that for water.
See, I'm not that mean.
No,
at least we have a really great source of water.
Most definitely. We ain't got a boiler of water. All right. We got some bank line. So looks like number 36 bank line. Looks like quite a bit, so we could use it for any kind of shelter system we want to make or whatever. The AquaQuest Tarp, most definitely. This is the new one too.
Fancy.
I like this camo pattern, I really do. I mean, we could go as simple as just putting up a ridge line and using the tarp if we wanted to go that route as far as shelter goes. I don't know, there's not a real big percentage of rain, but I know the last couple of mornings there's been some heavy dews too, so that's perfect. We got the lead for the cup. Oh yeah, most definitely. So we got the big boy silky big boy saw, which is definitely going to help us in aiding us for firewood for one. And then if we do any kind of shelter type building or any other kind of bushcraft stuff, we can use the saw. Great saw. The Gen 5? No, this is the Genesis. This is the Lyre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most definitely. All right, so we got the Genesis for his knife, which, honest to God, in my opinion, this is probably the best size. If you're gonna have one knife, one tool like that, this is the best size that you could go with. And you know, you can't go wrong with LT right knives.
And then another item is
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, so awesome. We definitely got a fire steel, so easily to make a fire with it. That way we ain't out here doing a bow drill or whatever. Which we could. I mean, we could.
I seriously
you know,
thought about it, dude.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's doable out here for sure. There's a lot of dead cedar and stuff, but yeah, this makes life a lot easier. And then, oh yeah, okay. So the EXOTAC X Reel. I love this X Reel, and if anybody follows me on Instagram, you definitely know that I've caught several fish with this, and then caught that big old bass that time in Oklahoma when we was out. It's awesome. But I love this X Reel. So there is a lake, probably about 500 yards in that direction, that is got fish in it. So we'll definitely use this to be able to try to get us some supper tonight. So that'll be awesome. And then got 2 headlamps. So at nighttime we'll run around here and need to get more firewood and stuff. We ain't stumbling around in the dark. That's awesome. So we got light, and then another wool blanket. So like I say, we both got wool blankets. So dude, I'm stoked. I'm psyched. I'm ready. This is awesome. It really is.
Again, even though we're saying that this is a survival challenge, in all honesty, it's just like inconvenient camping.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is, but it just goes to show, with 10 items, you can still come out here and be more than, comfortable and have, and we'll show you that. It's just something fun to do. We're not trying to prove anything or whatnot here, but
no.
But other than that, 10 items: drum liner, tarp, wool blanket, cup, grail filter, knife, ferro rod, cordage, EXOTAC X Reel, and the saw. So that's your 10 items.
Yeah.
Now we have to figure out, or Craig has to figure out, what do we get started with first?
I would say first off, let's get shelter out of the way. So we'll figure out where we're going to camp. This area here looks pretty good that we're at. It's fairly flat. There's a lot of leaves around, so we could use for debris for our mattresses. We can stuff them. I say we start up on shelter first, get the tarp, figure out how we're going to do the tarp, set it up, and then work on filling these up with some leaves and stuff for our mattresses and get that squared away out of the way, especially because it's daylight. And then after that, work on probably firewood.
All right. Awesome. Got to get started.
I'm ready.
All right, so we've looked around and we've found what we think is going to be a decent little area. Have a pretty good view. We're going to use our saw to kind of trim this stuff up and cut it, but we're going to go from this cedar to this one, and then run our tarp back behind us, and we should be good to go. If we would have had more time, we probably would have built more of a permanent structure, just because it looks better, it looks cooler. But I mean,
And
get this.
Cooler. We do it again.
Yeah.
It gets cooler and
Yeah.
do a little bit more. We could
Yeah.
up the ante.
Yeah.
And even ditch the tarp.
Yeah. Ditch the tarp and make a
just
debris
do
shelter.
Complete primitive shelter.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
all debris.
Yeah.
So.
So for now, we'll just get this up as quick as we can. It's probably gonna take a good amount of time to get our trash bags filled up for debris mattresses, but we'll keep you posted. We'll get started. Man, just like that, just getting a few bundles of leaves together and trimming a tree, we're already getting thirsty. And if you're thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated.
Right.
So my mouth is actually getting pretty dried out. So we're gonna run down and get some water and fill up this, drink it, each drink it, and then bring one back full. Just kind of get topped off down there at the creek, and then come back up here and get this set up. I'd show you the walk from, it's our camp area back there. Then I'll show you the walk down to the water. It's not too far, so picked a good site. Kind of important, you know, it's really important when anytime you're camping, especially in an area that, you know, isn't your state park or whatever, you always want to set up next to water. It just makes it that much easier. You're not having to fill up every container that you have and then constantly come back and forth to get more and more. So we're down here at the water. You can see water flowing right there. Super easy, ready for a drink.
So we found a good little deep spot here in the creek to get the water from, and Jonathan's just pre-filtering it right now.
Down here, the deepest, one of the deeper spots of the creek. This is a spring-fed creek, right, Craig?
Right. Yes, spring-fed.
Okay, so it's flowing all the time. It's really clear, really clean water, but I honestly forgot I left this on here. On the outside of the grail, I normally just keep this little canvas sleeve here. It's by Campcraft Outdoors. It's really important when you have these kind of filters that rely on like fibers and whatnot. When you push water through it or you squeeze water through it, it saves the filter and the life of the filter drastically by using some kind of pre-filter. So whether you want to use a bandana or something like this, it's really easy, really handy to just fill it with water, get it wet at first. Takes a little bit for the canvas to kind of soak up the water, but eventually you'll get enough, and then that way it saves your filter. And you could essentially just hang this from the tree and just, you know, let it do its work. This itself is not safe to drink, no. But it sure looks a lot clearer than just dipping it, you know, straight in there. Get this filled up. We'll press it, and then we'll each, you know, I think it's smart for us to each drink a full one of these. Yeah. And then bring one back full, and then even fill up our cups. Not that it's far, but man, it sure is easy to just you know, get dehydrated before you know it. So
yeah, and it's the low 80s right now, I think, around temperature wise. So it's warm.
Just like that, we have fresh water. So, if I'm being honest, when we first were doing this, I was planning on us just boiling water. I knew that Craig had a creek here, but as it got closer and closer, I saw how hot it was going to be. And if you've never boiled water to drink, like that's all your only way to purify and make your water safe, it absolutely sucks to boil water and be super thirsty and then have to wait for it to cool down. I've been in classes where we've done that, and then we even come down and like dig a hole next to the creek and put our pot in there to cool it down, and it still takes hours sometimes. So I just knew dehydration was probably going to be our biggest factor out here. Probably not food, and we can all get by with like little to no sleep or whatever for 24 hours, but I don't take any risk when it comes to dehydration. So, you know, doing a grail is just kind of the thing that I thought would be the best thing, and honestly probably the most luxurious thing that we have out here. So
most definitely.
We're gonna get topped up and then head back to camp once we get filled up with water. Since we've got everything cleared out now, the tarp's going to be super easy to set up if you're not building some kind of frame and whatnot. So before we do any of that, the best thing to do, because it also helps us with our area is to get started on our debris mattresses. And like what we showed you, we each have 2 contractor bags. These are fairly long. You can get ones that are shorter, that are a lot thicker. These are plenty thick, but there's a few little tips and tricks that you can do to make this a lot easier. One of the things that you want to make sure that you'll do, and I've learned from my mistakes, is after you get a big pile of your leaves sorted, anything that's big enough to poke you or jab you, it'll keep you up all night, and you'll never find it once you get this thing packed full. So some of the stuff that's a little bit smaller and breaks easier, it's not a big deal. But bigger things like this, just go ahead and try to sort through it somewhat. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to get all of it, but it's also going to help the life of the bag in case you have to use it again for something. And you just fill it up. After you get it to a certain point where it's pretty jam-packed and tight, you want to go ahead and lay on it and compress it and flatten it out somewhat, because it'll compress pretty drastically compared to what you would think. And then you got to kind of find your sweet spot. If you like a really hard, firm mattress, then fill up more. Just know that, you know, later at night, like 2 a.m. or something, if you filled it up super hard, you'll feel, you know, where a spot's too hard on your back, or if you didn't fill up enough and it all shifts down. So you got to understand that this is just getting by. Like, you know, it's better than sleeping on the cold ground, but it's definitely not going to be the Hilton. So like I just told Craig, as you're filling these up, you know, just a little bit ago, I had this full almost, you know, 3/4 of the way. But then by the time you compress it and squeeze the air out, you'll see that there's not near as much in there as what you thought. So instead of filling it up full and then tying it off only to realize you didn't have enough, it's better to kind of compact it along the way. Then it makes your life a lot easier. This is really the hardest part of all of it, when you kind of do a challenge like this and you're going to sleep on a debris mat. So even though it's not super cold, or you know, the ground's still going to be a lot colder than what you would think. And at, you know, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, you know, you'll be shivering because this ground will just suck you dry of all the heat and warmth from your body. So getting yourself up off the ground with something like this, and it's a barrier for any kind of water or moisture that might get your clothes wet, it's totally worth it. And these weigh next to nothing. You should just always keep a couple in your pack, you know, at the bottom of your pack for emergencies. How's it feel?
Pretty good. I'm gonna get a little bit more leaves for it to get a little bit more loft in it, but it's not bad.
So the idea here is, again, it's going to be inconvenient camping. You know, you're not going to just waltz in here and have the best sleep or trip of your life, but this is way more comfortable than just laying on the bare ground.
Most definitely.
It's insulated, and it'll allow you to at least kind of like sleep in shifts. Because in reality, if it were colder and we were with bare minimum items, or just maybe something that average Joe Blow would have in his truck, you're not going to be sleeping through the night anyways. You're going to be keeping the fire going, or, you know, for someone who doesn't camp or go out in the woods, noises and stuff's going to keep you awake. So, but this is kind of the most work,
Yeah.
of all, but it's also kind of like what's most important, because you want it to keep you up off the ground and allow you to at least sleep a little bit. So we just tied the ends of these with bank line. I just used a little stick as a toggle in case here in a little bit I want to add a little bit more, but it's best to go ahead and lay on it and see, you know, where your spots are that you want to add more to, or, you know, maybe take some out if you overstuffed it, and go ahead and compress the leaves now, because it's better to add it later than like be dog tired and jump on this without testing it, and you're like, crap, this
Yeah.
is super uncomfortable, I hate it.
Middle of the night trying
Yeah.
to get more
Yeah.
leaves or
So-
take leaves out.
I think for now, well, Craig, what's next? Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I say next we probably put the tarp up,
All right,
and then we'll do some fishing here in a little bit.
all right,
Get some firewood, and then try to do some fishing.
all right. You heard it. That's what's next. All right, so the tarp's next. So we'll run. I say we just run it through the top tie outs.
Yeah, and then just go from tree to tree.
Yeah, yeah. So we have our bowl in here. Just trying to focus on your face, Craig. Trekkers hits on this side. I think that's tight enough. I can move this knot down. Really get it juiced. It's been a while since I've used bank line as a ridge line. You know? Think that's good?
Probably.
Or tighter?
Maybe a tad bit tighter.
All right. There we go. So we ran into a little bit of an issue with the ground being super hard, and I was thinking that we were just gonna push the stakes in that we made. So we went down a little bit and found a nice elm and got us a good heavy baton made and some good green hardwood stakes or hard stakes, and we were able to hammer these in, and then we have a baton now for anything else we might need. It might come in handy later tonight if we need split wood or something.
Yeah.
And just used the saw and the knife. I sawed, Craig knifed. Boom. Teamwork. All right, so we got the tarp set up. We just strung the ridge line across and then used prusik knots and just pulled it tight on the sides. We carved those stakes and got it staked down in the back, and then we actually ran a line through the middle here to pull it up and give us a little bit more room. You can see the amount of room that you can get with the 10 by 10. Easily will fit 2 people in here, even full length like camping pads or whatever. So shelter is done. For now, the debris beds are done. We're gonna go down to the creek, drink some more water, and get hydrated because we're both tired and thirsty, and can't play games with that. You'll get leg cramps all night and stuff. Alrighty, so we are done at the shelter for a little while. Not really much else we can do. Debris pad's good. We been sitting down by the creek cooling off, honestly kind of just taking a break, waiting for the sun to go down, rehydrating, and now we're about to head out this way. It's a big field, some hay bales and stuff, but really nothing important. We're gonna walk across to get to this pond lake area and hopefully get some fish and chow down, because man, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And I know Craig's hungry too. So
yeah, I'm getting there now. I'm hungry.
And then bring them back. We brought bank line with us because we were thinking like maybe we could have double our chances and kind of make a leader.
Use it as a hand reel also.
Yeah, the EXOTAC reel, X reel or whatever, has a lot thinner line, so we'll pull some off of it and then tie it to the bank line, and then we double our chances. When we get over there, I'll show you everything that's in the EXOTAC. It's stuff that I just put in there when I bought it, so I didn't doctor it up or put anything fancy in there. I honestly don't really remember what's in there. I'm really hopeful. I think we'll catch something.
You got a pink jig in it?
I don't think so. That's what he caught that big ass bass on.
That big bass.
Big old bass, but I'm pretty confident. A lot of these farm ponds like this are normally pretty easy to catch fish in, but we're gonna get across this and then get out there and fish, and hopefully be bringing some back. Wish us luck. Oh, okay. So, yeah, there's still some bait in there.
Yeah, a little bait.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
There you go.
For sure.
Okay.
A little popper.
Okay. That should work.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, let's take some line off of that, and then we'll each get to getting and see what we can catch.
Okay, sounds good.
Holy cow. So, been out here for a while, trying. Nothing was working. As soon as the sun goes down, we start getting smashed.
Yeah.
EXOTAC popper and a little jig combo that Craig was switching back and forth to. And then I'd used a bank line and pretty much put a leader from the EXOTAC on there. And yeah, so we got 4 really good sized bass. I want to fish this pond with my tackle box and my rod and reel because holy cow, it's killer. It's killer. There's fish jumping everywhere, but we've got more than enough. We're gonna get these cleaned up. we got to get back to camp. Probably turn on our headlights by the time we get there.
Yeah.
And clean these in the dark. But we got food. Let me get a close up on these for you. Solid fish. Boom. Just like so. Warrior fish.
So I reached 18 accounts.
Well, it's exactly 24 hours later from whenever we first started filming, and we have some, I guess, developing news on the situation. It's really kind of a lot of different things. So, to backtrack, when we first talked about doing this, the temperatures had just started to get into really, really good temps.
Last week was really good.
Yeah, like 60s. You know, high 68, and then like even some like high 40s at night.
Yeah.
And then of course, the one weekend that we have blocked off to do this.
Yeah. We get a heat wave.
Yeah, and Craig takes off work on Friday, and I free up schedule and stuff on Friday. We get a heat wave, and it's back to being Texas, and we just don't. After so many summers of going through it, and even trying, like you just kind of realize. You take those months off because it's just so hot. So not as an excuse, but that was coming into this that we were like, you know, in the back of our minds. So what got us, honestly, is the water. Mm-hmm. The lesson learned in all this is one way of procuring water. There's no way we would have made it with boiling water.
No.
Because even the fire last night after the sun was down and whatever, it was still so hot you didn't want to be around it. But even one way of procuring water, like a Grayroll filter for two people, it's just not enough. Mm-mm. It's just not enough. It just isn't. You can't drink enough water for that. So, with that said, we got our fire going. We caught those fish. We cooked one up and we're eating on it, and it just got worse and worse. Both of us were closing the night out with headaches. Mm-hmm. My back was already killing me, and I knew
hip was hurting.
His hip was hurting. I knew that I was going to be dealing with like probably leg cramps and shit that night. So, you know, we called it. We made the decision later in the night that, you know, let's just get out of here. Let's walk back. We'll get back to where we came in at and get in the vehicle and head home. And it was the best thing because today we're out here meeting up with some buddies and stuff, and we've got all of our camping gear and hammocks and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're just regular camp and hang out and have a good time in the woods.
And we're going to be able to enjoy it. You know, we can be hydrated. We can have fun and hang out with them. And, you know, from the beginning, all this was just for fun. All this was just for Craig to experience stuff like this, but also just for us to do something together that was fun. It wasn't for us to prove anything or, you know.
Yeah. And then the point where it stops being fun is when you got to kind of rewind and look at it. It's like, okay, do we want to push on and keep doing this and wind up, like I say, going to sleep with leg cramps, headaches, or just go back and then come back again the next day and have fun in the woods? And I think having fun in the woods overruled it myself.
Yeah, and that was something we talked for a while about it, and we both agreed that if we didn't have anything going on today, like if we were just going to be waking up and wrapping this up, and then I was going to be driving back because I'm about almost 2 hours away from Craig, then we would have just stayed here, like whatever.
We just toughed it out and did it. Didn't say we did it,
but because we got friends and stuff coming out today, we've got another night here in the woods. Like, I don't know. It just, I would have been recovering, and just kind of laying around in a chair.
That's the way I would be snoozing. Yeah, taking naps or something.
So, with that said, anybody that's disappointed, we're sorry, but we just made a decision, and in all honesty, that's also something that you have to be able to do. Even when if you go solo camping and you're just out there for fun, like hiking, the second that you start having those feelings of I don't feel safe, or I'm gonna, I'm not gonna get any sleep, I'm dehydrated, like that kind of stuff. That's things that you need to listen to. Like it's never worth it to just try to be a tough man and push yourself, unless it's something crazy like you're getting paid $1 million for a TV show or something. But,
right.
But just for fun, go out and test your limits. And we've already made the decision that here in about a month or so, when attempts do stay consistently cool, we're all for it to do this, because
the cool weather. Because I mean, when we were out here doing this, like just filling these bags up with leaves, I mean, we were sweated down, and like
it was like 89 degrees.
Yeah, it was 89 degrees, and there was no wind, and we're like sweated down, and then we start, like I say, getting the headaches, and when it's cooler, it's a lot funner to be out here because you ain't just sweating down and you ain't getting dehydrated like that. So I was told Jonathan, I'm like, this is the best thing to do is, hey, when it gets cooler, let's try it again. Do the exact same kind of deal, or even less items, make it a little bit even tougher. But we'll be doing it again.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, So I'm not mad that we did it. We're gonna have plenty more opportunities, but I think we made the right decision. So with that said, I appreciate you watching and tuning in to the video, and go give those great companies that help make this video possible follows on social media. Check out AquaQuest's new tarp. I'm gonna be sleeping under this bad boy tonight and many more nights this year, camping season. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember, get outside, enjoy the woods.
See you next time.